Hello everyone and welcome to Revival League Season 2, Round 1 of Open Qualifiers. My name is Retro and here we are with game 2/3. It's the third game actually in terms of the qualifiers, but it's the second game that we're casting. We just went live a little bit ago with Oblivion and Tempora. It was a 7-5 Oblivion win. And now we've got ARDOUR ESPORTS versus FLIT Academy. We're playing on Skyscraper, which I'm very, very excited about. Skyscraper doesn't tend to get that much playtime usually. And it's a very, very interesting pick for qualifiers. Typically in qualifiers of all kinds and on all levels, you'll get, actually maybe not all levels, T1, the farther you go, it's probably a little bit different. But typically you'll get a little bit more sort of default maps, just because those are probably the strongest maps for the teams, for either side. They're going to ban out typically theme park or bank or something that they might not be comfortable with. So the fact that we're getting Skyscraper right away, that makes me very, very excited. I'm very excited to see how this pans out, especially now with the bans that have already come in. We've got the Dokebi ban, we've got the Nook and Azami ban to follow up, and we've got the Valkyrie to finish it all off. I think the strongest ban here, or the strongest operator out of the operators that have been banned, it would probably be Valkyrie. Not Valkyrie. Oh, what am I talking about? Is Azami, just because of how strong she can be. I wonder whether we're gonna see ARDOUR Esports play that shield inside of that shrine area when they're going defending karaoke and tea room. That tends to be a very, very strong position for a lot of teams. And typically, if you've got a shield, which they did bring, if you've got a shield in that position, that can be a very, very difficult position for the attackers to clear out. And of course, until you've cleared that out, you cannot really push into anywhere else, because of course the players that's playing there, they can swing onto Dragon under the Shrine, they can also turn all the way around and swing you onto the drum as well. So it's a very, very difficult position to clear out, and with Azami on the board, that becomes pretty much impossible, because you can keep throwing nades and she can just keep putting back Kiba barriers. And of course that's not the only position where she's good in. She can also contain Geisha pretty well. She can cover up the breaches in the walls as well, so she can be pretty strong pretty much throughout the entire map. I think it's in bathroom. I was gonna say, did they glitch that drone into the wardrobe somehow? Is that... It's actually pretty cool. I wouldn't have thought that is a thing. But anyway, with the Azami off the board, they're going to have to settle for doing it that some other way in future with an early C4. Was chancing the run out, didn't get anything with that. Went out for a C4, picked up Yorol, did not get the kill, but did quite a lot of HP damage. And Iska is going for a run-out, does finally get the kill. That's the Monty off the board. They do get the trade, but of course with that being the Monty dead, that is going to be quite a challenge now. I think that probably would have been either 2 impact EMPs or 2 smoke grenades that are gone now because of the Monty. Either way, that's quite a big loss, and of course Monty can do a lot in terms of clearing out positions and in terms of gaining map control. Just because, he can push in, give those live calls, and not die right away to any gunfights. But now, in a 4 versus 4 with Euro on low HP, but still all 3 of those Lion scans in pocket, and that gives the wall open. They could be going for a play here, especially now that Zekwa goes downstairs and gets the kill onto Future. That's the bandit gone, so that's now a direct trade onto Future, who took actually no, it wasn't, because it was Iska who took out the Monty, so apologies. But yeah, 90 seconds of the round left to go. They do have some map control, mainly downstairs, however. They will be going for some of these vertical grenades. One of those does do quite a bit of damage onto Shiva, but I don't think they'll be able to finish him off, and indeed they do not. Both of those nades now gone. They still have 1 more nade in pocket of Zekwa to try and maybe get somebody else. Live things coming out onto the Mira inside of the tea room. Oh, and just a little bit too far, and that grenade will miss as well. Now all of those grenades are gone. 45 seconds left to go. 3 versus 4 for the defense to try and hold on to this site. There goes the swing. from the Lion or from the Ace Shiva to get the kill. C4 goes out, doesn't pick up anybody. Those Lion scans not coming up, but it's Neoni with the kill onto Yoro the Lion. Now 2 versus 3, 20 seconds left to go. There goes the swing. Shiva gets one, gets immediately traded out. That C4 does blow out before he can die. 1 versus 2, diffuser called on the ground. 50 HP for Helix to try and win this round, but it's Joker to get the round, or to get the kill, and to win the round for ARDOUR Esports. That was a really, really great round there from ARDOUR to hold on to that. Very, very aggressive right from the start with that C4 and then the run out to boot. They are really just trying to be as annoying as possible for FLIT here. Or maybe it was just a little bit, you know, early setting the pace. You know, just like, let's be aggressive. Let's get that advantage. Let's get the round on the board. And then we can sort of fall back into our comfort of just chilling. Which a lot of teams do like to do. You know, as soon as you get that first round on the board and then, you know, you've now won your primary side pick. Or it might even be secondary side pick, considering how defender-sided Exhibition and Office can be for some teams. They could just be trying to get it out of the way early, and maybe, you know, shake up FLIT a little bit, you know, now that, oh, they're running out, they're doing all of this, you know, maybe they weren't even expecting that from a team like ARDOUR. You know, I haven't really seen these teams much, so I'm not sure how ARDOUR normally plays, so FLIT could have just been caught completely off guard by the play, but the play worked out, and now they will be defending Exhibition and Office, bringing a much more passive lineup, very, very support heavy. But in all fairness, they brought a very support heavy lineup the last time as well, and that didn't stop them from running out and being aggressive. So it might happen here again. The attack will be coming up from the ventilation rappel again. And there goes the first kill. Faulty does take out Future, who I think was trying the run out or the stomp peek again. I'm not really sure where that kill was, but... Oh, yeah. He was trying to do a little bit of a cheeky peek. Got punished for it. And FLIT now have the man advantage. Of course, the Thatcher on the board will be crucial here, as they will be able to open up these walls with ease, especially now having that bottom floor control. They will be able to make sure that no one goes below with a C4, or even the Cade sometimes will hide down below to try and trick the wall. That will not be happening, and now with the wall open and a minute left to go, FLIT are in a pretty good position. There goes Yoro again, the first pick for FLIT, as they equalize the man count. Shiva playing on top of the VIP stairs. Meanwhile, Iska and Neoni both trying to rotate back into sight, seeing as they were roaming quite far away, and they're aware of the control that FLIT have gained right below the site, so they are rotating all the way around to avoid dying. Of course, if they'd gone up those stairs, they might have been caught by Helix Diana or anybody, really. Time is dwindling down for FLIT, and despite the advantage that they had, they don't really seem to be doing much. Shiva chancing some peeks onto the breach. Yeah, a minute left to go. They're still just trying to hold on to the advantage that they have and trying to make a push into the breach. So far, not much is happening. Shiva doing a little bit of chip damage onto 2 players through the breach. There goes the kill from Zekwa onto Joker. That's from the terrace window. Immediately traded out, however, by Neoni. There goes Helix with another kill onto Shiva. That's the player on top of VIP stairs gone now. 2 versus 3 for the defense. There they go. Another kill. Plan is going down in sight. Arctic gets one. There goes Faulty getting another kill. But there goes the run out. Plat now down. All down to Arctic on very, very low HP in a 1 versus 1. Iska giving himself away a little bit by shooting through the walls. Is Arctic aware of the rotate that he has made? Probably, especially now that he is shooting just a little bit more. There goes the pre-fire. And of course, Arctic on pretty much non-existent HP at that point, was just not able to tank those shots and to survive any bit longer. Iska gets the kill, gets the defuse disable, and wins another round for ARDOUR Esports. really, really great round from ARDOUR, I must admit. I think that FLIT's biggest issue there was probably their pacing. They were, they had the walls open early on, and they, had the man advantage early on, but then they just kind of stalled and didn't really know what to do and didn't really know where to go, which happens to teams sometimes because you're so used to not necessarily a 20-second meta, but you are used to taking a long time to get into position where you're able to execute. And at that point, you're expecting to have lost somebody's at that point. So you're expecting to be in a sort of, 3v3, 3v4, 4v3 type situation. You're expecting for some people to have already died, and you're expecting for there to be maybe less than a minute to go once you have that wall open. And then, out of desperation more than anything, teams do tend to rush at that point and just, okay, let's just get the plan down, have the cover, we have to win these gunfights, and it just happens to be a brawl for it all. Between all of the players still alive in the lobby. And when that, because it's a lot of that, it's just instinctual. It's just like, okay, this has to happen or we lose, so we're just gonna do it. But when teams get that, map control and that man advantage early on, they sort of then don't know what to do, because it's like, oh, it's too early to go for a plant, but then they don't really know what to do. It's like, okay, we've drawn these people out, but we don't really want to get too aggressive and engaged yet. But it's like, what are you really waiting for? Are you just waiting for the time to dwindle down to the point where the pressure is really what's making you do things? Or do you actually, want to execute, and if it happens early, well, that's actually better for you. But anyway, the attack is coming in again. They're coming in from the upper side of the game. There might be somebody with a C4 down below. Actually, it can't be. They don't have any C4s on defense. I think that is Iska down below inside of the bathroom, trying to hunt any drones, trying to hunt any utility that they might be deploying on this side of the map. And again, bringing that Monty. I mean, this is really not something you see all the time. And there goes the opening pick, again in the favor of ARDOUR Esports, as another run out. I mean, they are just very, very aggressive. I thought it might have been just to set the pace for the first round, but they keep being very, very aggressive, especially Iska, to go for those runouts to get that kill, and that's a very, very important frag onto the Lion as well. So that's a huge kill. They will not be able to find any attackers or any defenders by just running those Lion scans, and now Arctic, pretty much by himself, is having to protect against two people, are having to survive contention against 2 or 3 people even, who keep shooting either at him or past them, and he can't really gain too much control. Of course, the further he goes in, the worse it is for him. He unshields, gets a little bit shot at through the feed, but there goes Helix with the support to get the kill. With the Future, minute now left to go. They get the down at the Shiva, can't really finish him off right away. I think they might be able to toss in a grenade, but I don't think that that's going to even be necessary. Seeing as the remaining defenders have rotated all the way back to the site and are trying to hold on onto there. Actually, I want to see where Iska is, because if Iska is still on the other side of the map, he could be going for a rotate and a late flank onto them. There goes the drone spots him out. They know that he's chancing that flank, so they will be aware of that. The Monty still in play is huge, as that means that they have protection for if they want to go for the plant, but I don't think that they have enough information about where these remaining defenders are. Of course, there's one still inside of kitchen, there's one still inside of pantry. There goes Shiva with the kill into Zekla, and now in a very disadvantageous position, there goes the smoke canisters as they're throwing out these smokes as well. The smokes, of course, getting caught by the Momai magnets, and it will be Shiva to get the kill. There goes Neoni with another, and it's all down to Faulty now. The diffuser's cold and dead inside of sight. No time left to go against 4 of them. He cannot do it. It's ARDOUR Esports to win another round. And I think that we just keep seeing the same thing from FLIT, where they get the initial push, sort of settled, but then they don't really know what to do after that. They were able to theoretically go for the plants or for the execute there, but it was just far too late at that point. At less than a minute, once they had control over Geisha, and they had no idea where the remaining players inside of site were. They still had one in pantry, they still had one in kitchen, they still had Iska to contest with all the way on the other end of the map, and they just weren't in a position to be able to do anything with the control that they now had. And of course, Ural just so happens to die every single round from a very early pick. In the first round, he didn't die, but he was the first down for FLIT. So also, it looks like they may be dealing with a little bit of a ping issue there as well for Helix, but Helix is dealing with really getting kills for them, so that might not be that bad of a thing at the moment. Yeah, it's just they really are struggling with the pacing and with transitioning from that sort of, initial round into the mid round and then into the execute. They get that entry on very quickly and very, very well. Even if they do lose a buddy, they still are able to get that initial push in, but then they just cannot translate that into an execute. They pretty much fall around mid round, and it's really hurting them right now. And now ARDOUR Esports are going straight back into Karaoke Tea Room, which is their primary site. They're playing a little bit differently to the way that they played it before. Of course, there's no top black rotate this time. They've put some barb down onto the stairs. And it will be Iska again playing the Solace on the other end of the map to try and deny as much utility as possible, to try and deny as much information as possible. And if I may guess, probably to also go for a bit of a risky, very aggressive run out again. We've seen that from Iska so far every single round, and it's worked every single round. So, typically when people get that aggressive, until they get punished, they just won't stop. It's like, okay, well, it's working. Why should I stop? And then, they get punished. I was like, okay, maybe I should stop. They've read into me. They know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to do it anymore. And they stop giving away the advantage. There we go. The wall's getting up, and that's this time. Or actually, no, that's the Alpha wall. Leone wasting 2 impact grenades trying to trick that. Does so successfully. As now the rest of the team rotates all the way around to Geisha to try and open up that wall. And there goes an early peek from Shiva to get Faulty through the window. That's their ace gone. Luckily, both or all of those Selma charges had been deployed at that point, so not much utility had been lost apart from, I think, the Claymores. There goes another kill from Iska onto Zekwa. I'm not really even sure how that happened. Oh, it's Future next again to contend against the Monty. Doing a little bit of chip damage, not enough to get the kill. Helix also taking a little bit of damage in a 3 versus 5 with about 90 seconds left to go. FLIT Academy could pull this off, but it's looking grim for them. Arctic pushing into the sushi bar, trying to find any semblance of Future still remaining downstairs. He does have, I think that's Helix, yep, that's Helix around him as well. Ural has now joined them. And here we go, the next engagement will be happening against Future the Muzzy inside of Pantry. The Muzzy is unshielded, they're actively droning him, but also actively wasting time. They will be pushing into Kitchen, still wasting so much time trying to do anything, but it's Iska from all the way inside of a restaurant to deny them doing anything more. Another one of those line scans comes out. Arctic now right below the hatch, could lose his life as Neone takes out Ural. And now 2 versus 5, sorry, with limited HP and very, very low clock count. It's all down to Helix and Arctic to try and win this round, try and salvage something of this half for FLIT Academy. That nade will get caught by a Will-Mine Magnet, so it will not be doing any damage to a player I'm pretty sure that they're aware of on top of Black Stairs. There goes the impact grenade to get the kill onto Arctic, and it's a C4 to boot to get the kill onto Helix and to win another round for ARDOUR Esports. I mean, this is just a landslide. 4-0 so far with absolutely no sign of stopping. Although if they were to stop, or if FLIT were to start picking up rounds, I feel like this is the moment to do it, seeing as this was the only round where they were able to get the plant down, and it was the only round where they weren't in a severe man disadvantage. It came down to a 1v1 with Arctic on very low HP, who was not able to tank pre-fire bullets from Iska. Perhaps stood a little bit too aggressively, but it's hindsight, and it just as easily could have happened. If he was sitting somewhere hiding, that he would have died anyway. So
have located a bomb.
Yeah, it's really tough to tell what could have happened if it would have happened. But if FLIT want to get these round wins, they need to start now. And more importantly than that, they need to start punishing ARDOUR for their aggression. Those runouts coming up from Iska and the general aggression coming up from Future is just not being punished at all by FLIT. And it needs to start. It needs to start being punished, because the longer that it goes unpunished, the worse it is for them. They will be droning out the bottom floor this time, making sure that they don't find, making sure that there's nobody downstairs who will be trying to go for a run-up. But again, this is just time being wasted. It's time being wasted on a good thing, and they did get that VIP wall open as well. I think that's main breach trying to get opened up now as well. So, they're not doing the worst, and droning out the bottom floor isn't a bad thing by any means, but they are wasting time on something that, against a team that wasn't as aggressive, they probably wouldn't have to do. If ARDOUR were one of those teams that just did a shallow roams or only roamed on the top floor, and by round 4, FLIT would probably be aware of that. Be like, okay, cool, we could just go for the wall. We don't really need to worry about that. But they are having to waste so much of their time. The wall is finally getting opened up now, as we reach about that halfway point through the round. Joker will not be trying to cage trade. Maybe he was thinking about it, but now it's too late, as the wall does get opened up. Unfortunately, it was not placed far enough to the left, so Joker is able to still sit inside of a minibar and hold on to that. Iska, with a very, very long angle, could be getting a kill, or at least a little bit of damage done onto Helix, who is trying to go for some of these vertical nades to try and clear out the defenders from their positions. A minute left to go. Arctic is trying to go for the plant, but of course that wall being electrified made it so that he couldn't go for it. Shiva through the wall, gets 1, gets 2. 3 versus 5 with less than a minute to go. Diffuser now cold and dead on the ground, inside of sight and control of ARDOUR. There goes another one to fall. It's Zequila, and it's all down to Yoral and Helix to try and hold on to this round. Helix took a lot of damage. I'm not sure if from the vertical angles, the stairs, or the Solus playing far back. It could have been all 3. Helix trying to challenge up these stairs as Yoral does pick up the kill, or the finisher on the Future, getting a lot of damage taken from inside of sight. Now having to try and push in through Dragon, but it's Iska hiding behind the foundation bit. There we go. Yoral getting the kill. Helix gets another. Yoral and Helix both have very low HP with pretty much no time left to go. We'll try to go for this. It's Shiva with the next kill onto Helix. It's all down to Yoral and no HP. 1 versus 2. Can't even get the final one. It's ARDOUR Esports to put another round on the board for themselves. Put themselves away, a step away from match point, even just now in round 5. That is a long mountain. Long mountain? Okay. I was gonna say that's a tall mountain to climb for FLIT, but it could be a long mountain. If you're doing it horizontally. There's very long mountains. Well, I guess they're not really long mountains themselves, just like sort of mountain ranges. But
attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Yeah, FLIT have got some Rockies and Andes to try and climb up now. Because being down 5-0, even on Skyscraper, which is very defender-sided, is still not a good position to be in. If ARDOUR get another round here, which they very well could, I wouldn't put it past them to get it. FLIT cannot afford to make a single mistake for the next 6 rounds, which is a lot to ask, especially when they've already used up their timeout. There's nothing more for them to say. They just have to keep on playing and hope that they can turn it around. They're sticking with this Monty play. I can't say that, you know, is necessarily what's hurting them, but it hasn't been working out for them. And I'm hoping they will be able to turn that around now, and that they will finally be able to capitalize off that. I do also want to point out that ARDOUR Esports have toned down the aggression a little bit. I don't know if that's just out of sympathy for FLIT, and they're like, okay, well, this is too easy, or if it's just, okay, I've done it enough. I don't really need to get aggressive. We have enough rounds up to where I don't need to be doing all this silly stuff. Iska's still very, very active on this roam, but no longer aggressive with the spawn peaks and the runouts. Getting spotted, but equally spotting out the drones. Iska. There goes the down and the kill onto Arctic. It's a future to help Iska, and that's a really, really unfortunate pick there from FLIT, from ARDOUR to get rid of FLIT. Get rid of FLIT to get rid of Arctic. There goes finally the trade, but immediately back for it is Iska, finally taking out Iska. Is Helix, and now in a 3 versus 3 with 90 seconds left to go. They still have so much map control to gain. They still have all of T, all of Geisha, and all of Karaoke Room to try and get a hold of before they can think about an execute. And of course, with the Sledge being gone and the Monty being gone, it's going to be a lot harder to go for that execute. They can do no vertical damage, especially when they don't have the soft breach charges in the pocket for Ace. So no vertical damage will be done, apart from maybe, you know, if they get a ping and then they shoot some bullets. But they will not be going for the verticality anyway. They're rushing straight into Pantry, and it doesn't work out. It's Joker with that SAS shotgun to get the one. There goes the trade from Helix. Helix and Faulty now all by themselves, 2 versus 2. Both of the remaining defenders are upstairs. I think Helix is... no, that's Faulty rotating all the way down to Helix. But of course, with the hatch being open, they can't push in. From Pantry, and Naoni with the Bailiff making even more of those vertical angles to make this even harder for them to try and push into. It's Shiva inside of Restaurant, does get taken out. It's a 3K now for Naoni. 1 versus 1. That wall gets opened up. Faulty will have to go inside of Barbecue to try and get the plant down. There goes the plant. There goes the drop. And there goes the kill from Naoni to get the 4K, to put another round on the board for ARDOUR Sports, and to put ARDOUR Esports on to match point before we've even seen the side switch. Finally, we see the side switch. We're going into round 7. FLIT Academy cannot afford a single mistake for the next 6 rounds. This could end up being a 7-0 closeout for ARDOUR, or we could be seeing one of the craziest comebacks in Siege history here from FLIT to bring it all the way down to overtime. Hopefully, you know, this is just a really bad case of, you know, Skyscraper is just that defender-sided and not FLIT just struggling that much. Because, you know, you never really like to see teams struggling to this point. I guess, unless you're their opponent, and then you're like, well, not my problem. But, you know, as a viewer and as a caster, you know, I try to stay objective. And just seeing a team struggle this way, it does hurt me a bit. In my opinion, if I could make it so that every game goes to overtime, I 100% would, because I feel like that's when you really get to see the best of both worlds. You get to see the best of both teams. where it's just back and forth. It's like, okay, we get the kills, then we get the kills, we get the round, we get the round. You know, that's when I feel like Siege is at its peak as far as entertainment value goes. But anyway, for the potentially last round, FLIT Academy have got to defend their hearts out. It's a very interesting shield. It's, you know, sort of, it's not very common. It does happen sometimes. Teams do like to bring it. It's very similar to the shield that I was talking about in the ban phase, where you're holding onto Shrine. It's just they're deciding to hold on to Drum and Terrace, which is still a very, very strong position for them to hold on to, because it basically achieves the same thing. They still can't cross over into T-Room from Shrine because of where you're playing with that shield, and of course having the support from Shrine itself by the teammates. It's actually a really strong position for FLIT to be holding on to. And now with a minute gone and a lot of this utility already being wasted from the side of ARDOUR Esports, they will be having to attack into T-Room and Karaoke. There goes the Smoke Babe to deny any push coming out from the Dragon Balcony. Zekulak gets a little bit aggressive, and it pays off as he takes down Shiva. That is now, the floor is gone. It's gotten very low HP from those vertical angles. There goes Arctic with a kill onto Future. And now in a 3 versus 5, ARDOUR have got to come back, and FLIT, who could not afford a mistake, so far have not made a single one. Wall finally opened up as they were fortunate enough to not lose their hard reach. There goes the Pogmats to take down Iska. Naoni getting a little bit aggressive, does get taken down by a Claymore on the run out. Chasing a little bit more aggressive there is Arctic. He will pull away as he takes a little bit of damage from the Dragon Balcony. 2 versus 4, 30 seconds left to go. Joker and Naoni pretty spread apart. There goes Helix with the kill onto Naoni, and it's all down to Joker. 1 versus 4, 20 seconds left to go. Diffuser in hand. No utility left to go, apart from those Claymores, which aren't really gonna do him too much right now. There goes the jump in, and there goes another Frost Trap with the final kill. Joker goes down, and FLIT have, at least for this round, turned it upside down. Pogmats indeed. FLIT now switching onto the exhibition office, which does tend to be the secondary site pick for most teams. So it's turning out the same way now. Again, they still cannot afford to make a mistake. So the way that they played just now is the way that they need to continue playing for the rest of this game. Now, this is where I see a little bit of trouble for them. Because despite this being the secondary site pick, this is the one site that has the highest plant percentage for most teams, sort of across Siege. Just because of that wall getting opened up and how little coverage you need to have to be able to get the plant down. You know, you need somebody below to make sure no C4s come out. You need to have somebody on the breach. Preferably, you know, some smokes or something to deny defenders from peeking into it straight away. And then just going for that plant, either right on the breach or a little bit further in, maybe on the bar, maybe on the desk. Going for that plant is never easier than it is on this site. So if ARDOUR just decide to do that, to be that, you know, confident in their ability to get the plant on to win the post plant, I worry for FLIT. They do have the Warden, and they do have the Bandit to deny. They do have the Bandit to deny the breach, but they also have the Imalusi to slow them down a little bit. So this could work out for them, but It's Future with the with holding those vertical angles to get the kill. The Ural just so unlucky, dying every single round so far, or almost every single round. Arctic now trying to chance the same kill down these vertical holds. Pretty much has to, because Faulty's inside a bathroom, locked in basically. There goes a grenade rip. He's having to rotate. Zekula is inside a bedroom as well. There goes Arctic with a kill into Future. There goes Iska with the kill onto Faulty. He knows there's another player down there. There goes the kill into Zekula as well. It's all down to Helix and Arctic to try and hold him to this round. A 2 versus 3 with 90 seconds left to go is not impossible, especially when they're doing a little bit of chip damage through those vertical poles. Actually, he didn't do any damage. I thought that they would have done so much damage, but it did none. He's having to rotate away from those vertical angles. And now, with a minute left to go, they have so much still left to do. They still have 2 impact EMPs left in pocket, ARDOUR, and they still have their hard breach on the board, so they could be opening up these walls, but of course they've wasted 1 impact EMP from the USA already, and they were not able to open up that wall or to even de-electrify it, so they're gonna have to go now with trying to open up this wall. They're using their final bits of utility to try and open up this wall. The wall will get opened up, and now this is where I worry that ARDOUR could get the plant down here onto FLIT and end their run in this matchup. Those cameras are spotting out the drones. They're spotting out any attackers that might be coming up those stairs, although I don't think that there's going to be any, as we see the 2 of them are on the breach and the other one is inside of Dragon to go for a very late flank. I don't know if the Malusi inside of Minibar is aware of that flank. And there goes also Shield on the breach to try and get the plant down. No C4s left to go. It's Iska and it's Shiva to get the final kills to win the round and the match for ARDOUR Esports. It's GG's in chat from everybody, and ARDOUR win it 7-1. It was a great effort from FLIT, but I think that they were not able to capitalize off of any advantage that they gained throughout the match. The aggression coming out from ARDOUR was not punished at any point, and they just were not able to get those plants down to get those wins, and it hurt them. So, I mean, that does it. Typically, we don't really do this in the stream. At least I've never done it in the stream until just now. If you were there for the previous game that I casted with Excellent, but we did the sort of MVP deciding in the stream. Typically, we do that off stream. I don't think that there's any other player that could get it other than Iska. Just, I feel like his name was in my mouth the entire time. He just kept getting those kills. He was very aggressive from the get-go, really set the pace in that first half, and just pretty much never stopped with that, you know. He did stop being aggressive with those jump outs and everything, but he still remained very, very active. And I think, and also getting those final kills as well there in the round. I mean, I think that would have to go to Iska. So there goes game 2/3 of Playday 1 of Season 2 qualifiers. We will be back here again tomorrow. I think probably at the same times, or a little bit at varied times. Keep our notifications on for this Twitch channel and join the Discord to get notifications of when we go live to be certain of when that happens. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Retro. Have a good night.
stay as long as you like. Let no days go by. I take my chances, I ain't gonna